welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UK OCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
You're listening to the 52nd most popular podcast, a show with more bite than the average Tough Mudder Scotland midge.
Ian, my friend, welcome to the Swift Half again. How are you?
I'm great, Alan, and happy Valentine's Day.
No, Valentine. I didn't get no cards. I've got no cards yet. I'm gutted.
I'm hoping our Patreons will come through, and in the afternoon delivery, it will be an avalanche.
You are really, you are such an upbeat type, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think, maybe you might get them being so young, but at my age, I don't get them.
Do you reckon I'm upbeat because, well, I'm expecting an afternoon delivery from Royal Mail? Do you remember them?
Afternoon deliveries, you know, I don't, as I remember them, because my postman doesn't come round to an afternoon now. So what happened to the postman starting work at like 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning? Chris Lamb's a postman. Chris, what happened? You know, what time do you start? Let us know, because I remember our post used to be delivered well before I got out of bed. But I don't think I've had a parcel or a letter or anything delivered before lunchtime in the last 2 years.
Well, can't we like double up? Could like the milkman take charge of the morning delivery and then the postman can take charge of the afternoon delivery?
Do you have a milkman where you live?
There's still a milkman round here. We don't use him. He's far too expensive. I just go to the shop. You know, if the milkman should buy his milk from the shop, it'd be a lot cheaper.
It probably would, actually. I used a fishman this last week. I don't know if you get them where you are, but on the first Monday of every month, he knocks on the doors in our area and says, "Would you like a fish delivery?" for the following Monday. So Paula decided to give him a try. So we love fish. I am a big fish fan, you know, more sea fish than river fish. But yeah, we're big fish fans. So anyway, she ordered a kilogram of cod and a kilogram of haddock. And it came this week, Ian. And it's amazing. Completely filleted, no bones in it. And we got 4 fillets per kilogram. And they're like massive, the biggest fillets you've ever seen. You know, if you went to a fish shop and you got a fish that size, you would be like raving about it for years. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. The fishman.
The fishman. I guess if he, hadn't delivered, maybe it was a first time delivery. He gives you the good stuff, and eventually it just drops off. The quality, the quality drops off, and by the end of it, you feel like he's done you up like a kipper.
Oh, they're the dad jokes, they're dad jokes. Now you're showing your real age now.
I'm showing my real age. But just think, Alan, pre-Amazon, because people act like Amazon is like this newfangled thing. But it has existed for years, because you used to have your potman, you had your milkman, evidently you had your fishman. Butchers, well, they can't really do that. But I do remember back in Bolton, did you ever have a meat auction van? Did that exist in Barnsley?
In the market area, there's a bloke there selling and I'll put these three pork chops on with these 6 burgers, and you've got a piece of steak here that's absolutely huge. Who's going to give me a £5?
Yeah, those guys. Whatever happened to them?
I don't know. There used to be a market near us, a really big one, Thoresby Hall. Yeah, I think it was called Thoresby Hall Market. It was massive. It used to be like the first Sunday of every month or something like that, where everyone drove to, like a car boot market, big one. And I remember there was always 2 or 3 there, and you'd always come back with like 40 quid's worth of meat and 25 of it you didn't really want.
It's so true, though. You really wanted the steaks, but somehow you've ended up with 5 pig's trotters, a couple of lamb chops, which are far too big for the grill. These things are like, you need the Flintstones to come back to grill it for you. And mince of undisclosed texture and origin.
Yeah, he did. And then there was a shop at side of it that did the veg. And you just said, I want some veg for Sunday dinner. And he went, £3, and then just put everything into a bag. I don't even got that one. Just chucked everything into a bag for you. You didn't know what you were going to get until you got it home, but you gave him £3.
You absolutely gave him £3. Of course, £3 back then. That's what, about 45 quid now?
About 45 quid, yeah. It is about 45 quid. And there was no cards back then. You know, you went to these places and you couldn't use a card at all. It always had to be cashed into it. It was like, I don't want a card. It's cash only.
Well, and that's why the roads were so bad. No one collected any taxis. Oh God! So Alan, I forgot last time, so I'm going to start. What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm on the Jubel again. This is the third one I've got live. I haven't even tasted this one. This is peach. Jubel beer cut with peach. I'm gonna have a drink of it. Let's have a taste. Oh my God, that is peachy, and
it's really
so
nice.
Peachy. Oh, that's nice. That I like that. That's pretty cool. Like 4%. Kieran came back to us about his drinking last week as well. I don't know if you know this. He's turned around and said that if it's less than 8%, he guzzles it. That's crazy.
Yeah, but what Kieran drinks, it often is, Kieran drinks beers which are more proof than a decent bottle of wine.
There's a lot of people do that now, don't there? So, what? I don't know about you, but when I was younger and I used to go out drinking, it was literally you drank the cheapest lager going. It wasn't none of this taste thing. It was like whatever lager there is or whatever beer there is, cheapest going. And you're always marked with your mates on how many you could drink. I was an 8-pint guy, I was a 9-pint guy or whatever. Where now you go into there's more artisan breweries that are selling beers that are 8, 9, 10%, and they're in cans or bottles. And you'll have one of these that lasts you about 2 hours.
Yeah, it's remarkable and a little bit gatekeepery. But if you go to a brew dog, you can kind of work out who are the beer drinkers and who are just wandering into a brew dog. And usually the mark is whether they order a pint or a half. If they have a pint, often, and there's nothing wrong with having a pint, but often they'll be just coming in there anyway. They're just in there. But if they've got a half, it's usually because you want to try different ones on the menu.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I like that. There's a couple of artisan breweries where we are, and when I've been into them, I like trying things that are a little bit different. And the downside is to these 8 and 9% beers that they're so expensive sometimes. I've seen them at like £5 for half a pint, a can that's half a pint of beer. £5. That is too much for me being a tight northerner.
No, absolutely. You buy what you can afford, what fits your budget, what fits the evening you're having. If the idea of your evening is to get as drunk as you possibly could, then you buy as cheap as you possibly can. And I was having this conversation at work, Alan. Do you remember when Stella Artois was seen as the shall we say, the shining light of exquisite taste when it came to beer?
Yeah, it's not what we called it in Yorkshire, but yes, I get what you're saying. It was the strongest out there, and gave you some really good beer goggles.
It really, really did. And I remember drinking Budweiser when I was younger. I know, listener, I know, but when I was younger, and that was 4%, and it was like, oh my God, that's strong. But yeah, no, it barely matches, up to a lot of these other beers. We've gone way off topic, by the way.
Too far off topic. Let's bring it back. What are you drinking?
I'm on the Lucasade tonight, and I'm on Lucasade Blue. I have no idea what this is. It's blue. It could be antifreeze for all I know.
It probably is antifreeze. Do you remember when Lucasade? I don't know if I had this conversation. Remember when Lucasade, when you were younger and you ever had a cold and your parents brought your Lucasade in and it came in that cellophane wrapper and they had to take the wrapping paper off it first before the gift, and you just thought it was medicine. Yeah, I used to always think Lucasade was medicine.
There is a generation of adults now who associate being off from school with having the weird Lucasade, the Lucasade original, shall we say, that was orange coloured, but it didn't taste like orange.
I don't remember what it tasted like, but it definitely didn't taste like. Oh,
Oh gosh. Right, OCR news. I guess we should, 10 minutes in, we should probably talk about the actual topics of the show. What do you want to start with?
so much going off this weekend, so much going off. So I'm going to start with what happened on Monday, which was the Libby Joyce news. Libby Joyce is now going to be not only is she a podcaster, not only is she an amazing athlete, not is she all of these, but she's now going to be a race director. How good's this?
You beat me.
Yeah. Liv is going to be the race director for the European Championships at Spartan Kids. Now, if I remember right, this is going to happen at London West.
I believe so, yes. And I should clarify, I don't think I'd make a very good race director, but I think Libby is going to make an exquisite race director. I can't wait to see how she gets on, and maybe this is a path to a future career, Alan.
I think it probably is. I mean, she's getting herself recognised so much in Spartan now. She's going to be the national team captain. She's going to be doing this. It's amazing what she's doing at Spartan. It's great that they're recognising what Erin and her mum does for the sport and for the Spartan brand. I think it's amazing news. Well done, Libby. Congratulations. I'm not sure if she knows what country it's going to be in. If you listen to the podcast, because she forgot that it wasn't in Qatar and it wasn't in Dubai when we spoke about the Metal Games. So I hope she knows which country she's heading to on this occasion. But yeah, no, well done, Libby. It's great news. Congratulations. I wonder, and I haven't asked these questions. I really should have actually contacted her and asked her. But I wonder how much she's going to have in the course design.
I'm not sure. I've always wondered, Alan, and you'll know this far better than I will. What are the responsibilities of a race director? To me, it always strikes me that they're like the troubleshooter.
It depends on what race you're talking about in terms of the level of the race. So someone at Spartan, for instance, a race director who's overseeing the race on the race day won't necessarily have a great deal of input in the course. It will be their job on race day to ensure everything is run smoothly. And should something go wrong, that they know exactly what's going to happen. They will have a book. That's what we have. We have like a bit of a Bible down at Overlow, which if something goes wrong, we know what's going to happen. We look at things before when we're sat in his own office like this. We sat in the office, we can say, okay, so if this happened, what should we do? You know what I mean? And then usually it's the same thing that you'd do you'd actually do on race day anyway without even thinking about it. But there might be something on there that, that you think, oh God, what did I think about? I don't know, a lightning strike, oh gosh, it's forecast lightning. What do we do? Let's go back to his Bible. What did we say we were going to do? What plans do we put in place? And that's really what a race director does. They'll also make sure that, the marshals are there, they'll be liaising with, it's a bit bigger event, so they'll be liaising with other areas. So they'll be liaising with someone who's probably in control of the medics. They'll be liaising with someone who's in control of the marshals. And they'll not necessarily say to a marshal, oh, you're going to this event. They'll get the person who's dealing with the marshals to go to it. Where at my race, I'm very much all of them people at once, so me and Jamie are.
Well, I guess in your race, it's you don't have the luxury of a massive team that Spartan does. But saying that, in the Spartan Kids race, Libby may only have a couple of people answering to her, so she may end up getting a bit more hands-on like you have to.
Very much so. It could be a learning curve for her. I think whatever it is, it's going to be a learning curve for her. I think it's great that she's getting involved in the sport and getting involved in the organisational side of the sport. Like I say, I think it's amazing, and it will learn her skills that she can take on to later in life. We forget how young she is. Forget how young she is sometimes. She's only 17. I think she's 17. Yeah, she's 16, 17. So I hope I got that right. She's not old enough to drink yet. I know that. So we know she's only young, but whatever skills she learns here, she's going to be able to use later in life.
And it's quite important to develop them soft skills. Look, we're going right off OCR into human resources corner. We've not had a corner for a while, so we can have human resources corner. But I think those so-called soft skills are so important. The talking to people, accepting, what people say, and coming back with a decision. It's so hard to develop them because I constantly see it. A lot of times, the only place you see people of multi-generation is at work, isn't it, Alan? Like,
Yeah.
you're in your early 20s, and I bet you're dealing with people in your place of work who are much, much older than you, and you're all kind of like, and I don't mean this to sound horrible to any of my current work people who I absolutely love, but there's a good chance that some of the people you work with, you wouldn't necessarily be in a room with them for any other reason than good fortune that you're both employed by the same company. So it's very important to develop that skill to be able to chat with people and deal with different people how they want to be dealt with.
100%. 100%. I deal with a lot of youngsters in my day job now, and a lot of youngsters are suffering with mental health because they've lost them soft skills, And I go back 4 or 5 years when we went into, 4 years ago, we went into COVID, and a lot of people had to stay at home. Those were key times for a lot of, 14, 15-year-olds to develop their soft skills, and they became very insular and computing and things like that. But this is great that Libby's doing this. It's going to develop her interpersonal skills.
Will do. And listeners out there, if you ever get an opportunity to be an RD or get further involved in races, absolutely grasp it with both hands. People like our good friend Mike Noland. He has developed into a fine referee, hasn't he, for multiple businesses, and he is someone who is almost like a go-to when it comes to officiating.
Without a doubt, he's another guy who has put himself out there, done things without asking anything in return, put his name in the hat for many things, and reaping the rewards of is seen now as probably one of the best, if not the best, referees in across the High Rocks and the Spartan race series, crossover sports.
And of course, we've got. Oh God, I've started now, so there's lots of people we could mention, isn't there? Because we obviously got Grumpy, we got Matt as well, who is doing very well, good things. Boss, we've got Lindsay, we've got everyone who gets involved with British Obstacle Sports on committee point of view. And if you do have extra hours, please get in touch with British Obstacle Sports and see if they can use you because it will help, particularly if you're on the younger end. It'll help you with this soft skill of just learning to speak to people, which is actually a nice segue, Alan, because we had some British Obstacle Sports news, didn't we?
We have got a lot of British Obstacle Sports news this week. Thank you to James and his team. It's strange, we haven't had none for a while, and then they've brought quite a few out to us. So let's first of all go through some news. So we have got 3 events that's been announced these last few days that are licensed. So events that we've not seen licensed before. First up, April 13th, Adrenaline Shock, which is at the Krypton Factor course, I want to say, in North Yorkshire.
Yeah, if you remember, and long-time listeners of this show will definitely remember, you've done this previously, but you did say that it was not the original Krypton Factor course that we all know and love from the 80s. It was the rebooted one, but still a good course.
Beautiful course, great venue. When I went, I was a little bit gutted that it wasn't the original one because I really wanted to do the original one. My mum's brother did it years and years ago, so I always wanted to do it. But it's a great course. 10K. I want to say it's not flat, but it's not undulating either. It's a little bit of mixture, bit of different terrain, not necessarily super muddy, although I guess the rain dictates that. But it's also going to be the 10K race is also a Euros and Worlds qualifier, which is great news to see an event like Adrenaline Shock being recognised as a Euros and a Worlds qualifier.
No, it's great to see some of these quote unquote local races getting the recognition that they deserve.
Definitely. April 27th, Mud Masters down in Somerset has also been licensed. So another great little event there. And then the big one for me, which is one that moved a little bit away from, I want to say, mainstream OCR. It was really big mainstream back in the day and got really involved with the community, but it built up its own little community. and it moved a little bit away from the mainstream. It's now been licensed, and that's on May 17th, Bog Commander in the Peak District. Absolutely top quality race. For me, it's probably the hilliest OCR that I've ever done, and I've done them all over the country. It is serious elevation. We're talking, it's not for the faint-hearted. It has some real top quality obstacles, zip line, super death slide, a muddy section, Ian, that is to die for. We talk about the mud that's down at Nuts and at Nuclear. They've always been rated for their mud. There's a section at Bog Commander that really, for me, tops them all. It is one deep swamp, and on the top, if you're first past it, Ian, if you're first running through it, you break the crust and you're all right. But if you're the fifth person running through it, oh, God forbid, because you are knee deep, if not waist deep, in thick, gloopy mud. So, yeah, Bog Commander, May 17th, amazing event.
I think we don't do the top take that much, do we, anymore? But when we were setting up the show, we did your fantastic son Harley did a lot of it, if you remember. And some of our early stuff was done at Bog Commander, and I'm fairly sure there was a video of me disappearing into this mud. I was just walking like a regular person, and then suddenly, yeah, straight in, possibly up to about my neck.
Yes, without a doubt. I love Bog Commander. I haven't been for a few years now. I love. There's so many good things about it. Like I say, it's run by a small family. They own the land. They own a farm. It's a working farm. They put this on for the fun of things. And it has the same people going back year after year after year. And it's always done well. It's always produced a great event. So, and you do laps. You can do 1, 2, 3 off. I think even 4 laps, even, which is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing 2 laps. I honestly, it's such a tough race. Even though it's not particularly long when you check your watch, it's such a tough race that but tough in a good way. It's not unachievable. It's not similar to Deerstalker, where you're climbing up the screen wondering why you're doing this. It's all really fun, but it is tough in places. But I also like the little bit of fun that they bring to it. Like last time I was there, they had a bit of a cycling section, because why not? They obviously just had some old bikes in the family farm, and they're just using them. So why not? And there was also like a football section where you had to score a goal or something like that. It is one of those races where they do their best to innovate, and I hope that them coming into Boss isn't a, oh dear, numbers are down, this is a throw of a dice. I just hope it's more, we're coming into the community here, and fingers crossed they're rewarded for that with more sign-ups.
Without a doubt, I really think that's what it is. They're coming back into community. I don't think that they need it. They get so many people. They get 400 to 500 people every time, Ian. It is one of them events that, like I say, that people who have even left OCR still go back to that event. People I know that are no longer involved in OCR and they're doing other fitness stuff, they still come back to Bog Commander.
They do. It is surprising. And when I went, again, it was probably a couple of years ago now, Alan, but when I went, what I loved was seeing all the old team T-shirts that were from the 2015, 2014. I think I saw a silverback duck.
yeah, there is usually 1 or 2 there. Yes, there is. I think I probably need to. I'm away. It's the week I'm away. It's always May, and I always go away in May, so that's why I usually miss it. And it's the same again. I think I come back on the 16th, so unfortunately, I'm not there either.
Yeah, I think I might be doing some kind of High Rocks. It's High Rocks Berlin around about mid-May, but I couldn't for the life of you tell you which particular race it was. So we'll see how that goes. Is there any other news from that?
We've got plenty more about Boss, which I'm going to come back to, but I just want to click on these events. Something we're going to do this year, Ian, after each event, we are going to send out a review column on our social medias so people can actually review the race, and we're going to collate them and put them all on our website. I couldn't think what I'm going to say YouTube channel, but it's going to be on our website, not YouTube channel, on our website, so people can look at them going forward.
So this is for UK OCR series events, or is this for a few more?
This is for all OCR events that are going to happen in the UK.
Oh, wow. Every single event that's going to happen in the UK.
Every OCR event, we're going to let people review it.
Do I need to check my job descriptions, or have you got someone else doing the hard work on this?
I've got someone else doing the hard work on this, and don't worry about this part. He's had several wage rises. I've given him the thing. I actually gave him a template of what I want to do, and he's actually come back and done a massive change around. It looks really cool now. But gets all the thing we need. And this is going to be for the awards going forward. So rather than have the best event, people are going to be able to do this throughout the year, and we'll be able to capture the best events put on the shortlist. Speaking
of awards, let's just cut across. I know there's plenty of other boss news. Should we, half an hour in, tell people what's going on with the awards? Yeah, it's a good idea, Ian. Emails have gone out to everyone who registered the awards this week, and the awards night on the 1st of March is now not going ahead. I repeat that, not going ahead. We didn't get the numbers to have the venue, so we went back to them and tried to negotiate. They wouldn't negotiate with us, not to the point it was going to be viable. We tried other venues, again, couldn't get no venues close by, so we had to make the decision, Ian. As you know, we had to pull it. So we had to pull it before anyone lost any money. Money's being refunded. But the good news is, Ian, we're still going to have an awards night. So we're still going to have an awards night. Before we talk about that, to reiterate, monies have gone back. So if anyone hasn't received, please urgently get in touch with you, because there might be a Russian prince who is currently using your money to buy something. I hope there's no Russian prince using my money. But yeah, all the money's there for everyone. I'm giving everyone a refund. I can't do hotels. If anyone booked hotels, I really apologise. I know most people did it through booking.com, so they got free cancellation. But we're all going down to Nuts still. I'm going down to Nuts. Hopefully going to meet up with a few people for a drink in the evening. I've said I'm going to be in a pub. I haven't decided which pub yet, but I'm going to choose a pub. We're going to go down there, me, Paula. We're going to take Betty with us so you can meet Betty. Anyone wants to meet Betty. And we're going to have a few drinks in the pub so people can come and say hi to us if they want to. But on the backside of it, the good news is we are going to go back to one of our first ever things here, which we did our first ever awards, if you remember, live on YouTube. And we're going to go back to doing it again live on YouTube on the evening of the 26th of February. I can't wait for this. So are we going to do this as a Swift Half special then? Because peeking behind the curtain, occasionally when we're not recording live as a listener's listening to it, like obviously they're listening to it on Valentine's Day, and we are recording this on Valentine's Day, but we're going to record quote unquote early for a special Swift Half. We are, Ian, yes, on Wednesday the 26th. Time to be announced and confirmed, because we've got to go through our diaries, and we'll put an agenda out there. That is part of your role, by the way, Ian. That is in your job description of putting an agenda out. Point one, negotiate Ian's pay rise, and we go from there. Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna do it, and we're hopefully going to celebrate the best in OCR, and then we're going to send all the trophies out to everyone who's won. We will send all the trophies out to you at our cost through Royal Mail, so you'll get them on the afternoon of Sunday the following week. Hopefully. We say hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. But I presume, Alan, that anyone listening anyone attending live, you'll have a couple of days that if you are going to be at Nuts, to send you a quick message, and you'll try and remember to put it in your bag and take it with you. Yes, I will definitely take anyone who I know is going to be at Nuts. I'm going to be taking them down with me to give them down while I'm down at Nuts, and hopefully catch up with them down there. Yeah, I know this is kind of breaking news as we're saying this, so we've not got all the technical stuff ready, but we are going to look at some way of people interacting on the night, aren't we? We're not quite sure what form that'll be. It may be we do it live on YouTube and people can go in the YouTube comments. It may be that people can be in almost a live studio audience. We don't know at this stage, but we'll find some way for it to be interactive, so it's not me and Alan trying to fill space.
That's the plan, Ian. That's the plan. So, going back to boss stuff, though, can we go back to the boss stuff?
We can. Oh, final question about the awards. And final thing we've not decided. I know that quite a great few, well, not a great few, but some fantastic partners did send us some stuff to give out on the night as prizes. We're going to figure that out, aren't we?
Everyone who filled in a form are going to get gifts from us, yes, without a doubt. Everyone who filled a form and said they were all committed to going, and that all messaged me and committed to going. I have got things from Kit Bricks from them, from Caffeine Bullet. I'm going to take a lot of it down to Nuts with me. So if you're down at Nuts, catch me down there. It's going to be in the back of my car. I'm happy to give out to people who said they were going to do it then. And obviously, we've got the 2 prizes from Kit Bricks as well. We've got the poncho and we've got the tote bag. Now, that's going to be for the people who entered and online. So I'm going to send that out to 2 people. We're going to draw them online. Talking of a draw, talking of raffle prizes, yeah, this is a great segue because I have got a prize draw happening. Shall we do it right now? Our patrons, yes, all our patrons, we said we're going to do a draw every month for some type of prize. And we haven't done January's yet. So can we do January's today?
Of course we can do January's. You know, it's remarkably on brand that we're 2 weeks into a month and forgot to do January's draw.
Exactly, Ian. I don't know what the problem is with this. So I have actually got a draw. So just bear with me a second. So, Ian, I have got this wonderful screeny, circular thing with everyone's name on. All our patrons are on here, yeah? And if you are a £6 patron, your name's on 3 times. A £4 patron, your name's on twice. And a £2 patron, your name is on once. And we have got 2, not 1, but 2. They are phone chargers, lights, emergency lights, and pumps, like the air beds. Yeah, we've got 2 of them to give away to our patrons. So, shall we click and see who the first one is going to be in?
We can. Do I need to make a noise like? Oh, I'm not going to be able to keep this up.
There we go. The first one is Kevin Dent. So, Kevin, we will send one of these out to you.
That's not what I'm reading.
You saw Kevin D. That's Kevin Dent. I know that one is.
Yeah, Kevin D. Is that like his rap star name?
That is his rap star name, Ian. Yeah, that is his rap star name. So I've got another one to give away. So here's another one.
Yeah.
And Simon. That's Simon Briggs. So Simon Briggs and Kevin Dent have both won prizes. So we'll get those sent out to you in due course. Yeah, right. That's that one done. But there's also another competition going off, Ian, that has started this week, and this is open to everyone. So anyone who follows UKOCR, Duel, which is happening at the Obstacle Gym on the 22nd of March. I'm going, and one lucky person is going to get to race against me. Yep, on the day. Well, I don't know if that's lucky or unlucky, but they're going to get to race against me on the day. And all they've got to do is follow UKOCR on Instagram, follow Obstacle Gym on Instagram, and then they've got to tell us in the comments what the first races they did, the first OCR race.
Sounds fun. If they're already following all of them, what if there's someone who's already following it? Do they just need to say in the comments, "This is my first race"?
Yeah, that's it. Whatever the first race is, that's all they need to do. So as an example is Liam's. Has it gone live? Liam's commented. The moment it went live, Liam commented, and he's put on his first race was Tough Mudder. He already follows UKOCR and he already follows Obstacle Gym. So he's just commented. He's in the draw. It's simple as that, Ian.
So in the draw to beat you at the Obstacle Gym.
Well, just to race against me or race with me, but yeah, it's a free entry. It's a free entry to the Duel at the Obstacle Gym.
Ah, that's the thingy. I was a little bit confused as to what quite the pull was, but yeah, a free entry, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're going to race against a wolf run champion.
Really, is James Burton turning up?
I like that. James Burton's turning up. James, you haven't won wolf run. Don't go telling anyone you did. I'm the current champion. Some other news. New race. The ERG shootout by 11 Fitness on 8th of March coming up. a mixed throwdown. Looks interesting this year because it's an high intensity. It's what it says. I'm reading it off the flyer. An high intensity mix of laser shooting and cardio challenges.
I was confused by this because when I saw it, I thought an erg showdown because that's how I read it, and that I thought they were going to do ski erg and row erg, but we've got laser pistols in there, so it's obviously the ERG challenge. So I can't wait to see how this comes across. I'm terrible with a laser pistol, so I probably won't be doing this. But are you tempted if you're free?
I'm liking the idea of it, and I've got to admit, a bit of laser shooting. I did. Where did I ever go at it? Now I had a go at it at the fitness show when I went down to watch the Boss 100 meters. I had a little go at then I wasn't very good at it, and I've got to admit I wasn't very good at it. But it looks interesting.
Yeah, what's interesting about it though is it's the 8th of March as well. There's already so much happening that particular weekend around this area. It's almost like everyone in the Northwest decided 8th of March, that's when we're having our events.
It probably is the thought, right, everyone's got rid of January out of the way. Everyone's got rid of February out of the way. Let's kick it off in March. You start in March.
It might be as simple as that.
Yeah. Also happening in March, if anyone's interested, the British Obstacle Sports Technical Official online course is happening on Wednesday, March 19th at 8 p.m. It's online, so people who want to become a British Obstacle Sports Technical Official during the course, contact British Obstacle Sports and attend the course.
Absolutely. We cannot stress how amazing the technical officials are, and this is a step towards it. So is that for new potential officials as opposed to existing?
The way I'm reading it, it says it's a first level of certification for existing race marshals. So if you've worked on any OCR course or ninja competition and you want to be registered, this is the first step towards that.
Perfect. Also, while we're talking about Boss, and this will go out after the embargo, I hope. We had news that they're going to keep their partnership up with Spartan.
Yeah, so they're going to keep the partnership up with Spartan. They're also going to do the British OCR Ultra Championships in this year, which is happening at London Southeast, which is Pippingford, in October. So we're going to have a British OCR Ultra Championships, which is going to be part of the Ultra League as well. So that's great news. I think that having Spartan involved in there, you've got World's Toughest Mudder, you have got Nuts in there, Tough Mudder, I want to say Infinity, I'm not sure of that, but Tough Mudder Infinity in Yorkshire's in there, and Farmyard Jam's in there. So, some great entries in there. It's great that they're going to do it. They're talking about grassroots in the press release, which you're going to be able to see on our website shortly as well. So it's great that they're partnering, because at this moment in time, I don't know about you, Ian, but I'm seeing Spartan are spending more money on advertising, or it feels like they are. I'm seeing lots and lots of Spartan advertising at the moment.
I really am. I saw an advertisement for a Spartan race in Mallorca the other day, and I was very tempted. Unfortunately, I'm busy that weekend, but I was very tempted. Spartan race in Mallorca, I love the UK, but a Spartan race in Mallorca just feels a little bit better than Pippingford. Sorry, Pippingford, I enjoy it down there, but Mallorca. But yeah, the renewal of this, that's the official word for it, as opposed to kept the partnership going. But the renewal of this partnership is great news. As they've pointed out, British Obstacle Sports is going to support the two major international events. World's Toughest Mudder, we've already talked about, but also Spartan Kids European Championships on May the 18th. It's just fantastic. And interesting, this press release, we were just talking about officials. British Obstacle Sport have said so far, Alan, without looking at a press release, how many officials do you think the British Obstacle Sports have trained?
I'm going to say hundreds. I know it's going to be in the hundreds, but I don't know how many. I would say multiple hundreds, over 200, I would have thought.
Not quite 200, but 147 thus far. They've trained, with 37 completing an additional Spartan rulebook CPD. But this is probably what you're thinking of. technical officials have volunteered their time on 335 occasions at Spartan and Tough Mudder events.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. That's
It
fantastic.
it really is, and it is great. See this in High Rocks. One thing that High Rocks has probably done right out of the bat really well is this kind of like pyramid scheme when it comes to the officials. So you've got an overall official, and then you've got head judges at the stations, and then below them you've got assistant head judges. Then you've got the volunteer judges as well, and I see the British obstacle technical officials almost like that. They just add that extra bit of gravitas to an event, particularly events like Spartan, where it's important to get the rules right.
Yeah, 100%. We've talked about this right from the start of competitive OCR, and I think we've both been pretty much in the same song sheet when we talk about this, is that we've got to have rules set out. We've got to have clear set rules so that athletes know exactly what they are, and then rules have got to remain consistent. They might be tweaked, but they've got to remain consistent. And then we've also,